I never imagined that moving to my family's lakeside cabin in Montana would thrust me into a battle over land, pride, and principle. At 52, after decades grinding away as a cybersecurity consultant in Washington, D.C., I craved the quiet of Serenity Lake. My father left me the cabin when he passed a weathered retreat nestled among pines, where the water lapped gently and cell service was a rumor. It was my sanctuary, my chance to trade chaos for calm, to restore the place board by board. But peace, I learned, comes at a cost. By week 2, I'd wired new cameras, upgraded the locks, and sanded the dock to a smooth finish. The lake shimmered, and the world felt right until Elizabeth Monroe arrived. She rolled up in a gleaming white SUV, her auburn hair cut sharp, her outfit more suited for a country club than my gravel driveway. "You must be the new tenant," she said, her smile as cold as the lake in January. I wiped sawdust off my hands. "I'm Daniel Reed. I own this place." Her eyes narrowed, but her smile didn't budge. "I'm president of the Serenity Shores Homeowners Association. There's been a mix-up. That dock, community property. The shoreline, shared access." I nearly laughed. "Ma'am, this land's been in my family since '79. I've got the deed, the survey, the whole damn title history framed in my office." She didn't blink. "We'll need to verify that. In the meantime, don't alter anything near the lake." She handed me a card, Serenity Shores HOA, embossed in gold, and drove off. I tossed it into a drawer with old receipts. 2 days later, I spotted plastic flags dotting my tree, linered in white, like little stakes in my piece. Orange markers lined the ground, tied with surveyor's tape. No one had asked me. Then came the letter, slipped under my door. Notice of encroachment on community property. Remove structures and vacate within 14 days. Signed by the Serenity Shores Administrative Committee, it cited no laws, no evidence. I sat at my kitchen table, coffee going cold, anger rising. This wasn't a mistake. Someone wanted my lakefront. Elizabeth Monroe, the HOA's self-appointed queen, had decided my land was her prize. I let her think she'd rattled me. But I wasn't the tech guy who'd roll over. I'd built firewalls for Fortune 500 companies. Now I'd build one for her, legal, ironclad, and unrelenting. At 6 a.m., tires crunched on gravel. Mist hung over the lake as 3 men climbed out of a pickup with HOA magnets slapped on the doors. Neon vests, tool belts, crowbars. I stepped onto the porch, barefoot, coffee in hand. "Can I help you?" The leader, a burly guy with a goatee and a clipboard, didn't look up. "We're here to remove an unpermitted structure. Serenity Shores orders." He pointed at my boathouse, a shed my dad built in '82. "You're on private land," I said, voice steady. "Wrong lot." The youngest, barely 20, earbuds dangling, nodded at the shed. "That's what she said to take down." She was Elizabeth. "I blocked their path." "You're trespassing. Show me a court order, or you're not touching a thing." The leader smirked. "We've got verbal approval. Won't take long." I didn't budge. Verbal approval from someone who doesn't own this land is worth less than the dirt on your boots. One reached for the shed's latch. That was it. I dialed 911, told the dispatcher I had trespassers with crowbars, and things could get ugly fast. They'd pried up a plank by the time I got back outside. "Put it back," I said, cold as steel. The leader stepped forward, close enough I could smell his cheap cologne. "Cops won't side with you. Everyone knows this is community land." I held up my phone, recording. He froze. "Delete that." I smiled. "Make me." Sirens cut through the pines. 2 deputies rolled in, lights flashing. I handed them my ID and a binder deed. Survey, notarized records. One deputy whistled. "You don't mess around." The crew had nothing but shrugs. The deputies sent them packing. No arrests, just a misunderstanding. Right. If you call planned demolition a misunderstanding. I checked my cameras that night. One above the boathouse was tilted, missing the crew's approach. Someone had been here before. My gut pointed to Frank, the neighbor I'd liked. A grizzled Vietnam vet, Frank drank Folgers like it was whiskey and cursed at squirrels. We'd bonded over tools and tall tales. But after the boathouse stunt, he'd gone quiet, avoiding my waves. I dug through my camera feeds. 3 days before the crew, Frank was on tape, walking my property with a guy in an orange vest, pointing at the shed, the camera, the lake. They shook hands. The next morning, I strolled over, coffee in hand. Frank was fussing with a bird feeder. See that mess the other day? I asked casual. He shrugged. HOA nonsense. I sipped my coffee. Funny. I saw you with one of their guys, pointing at my shed. He froze. You working with them, Frank? His eyes hardened. Elizabeth asked questions. Said it was for the community. Community? I snapped. You mean carving up my land for lakefront passes? He looked away. She said you'd fence off the shore, flip the place. I didn't buy it. What did she offer you? Silence. I walked away. It stung. Frank wasn't just a neighbor, he'd been a friend. Then Elizabeth escalated. Anonymous complaints hit the county health department, gripes about trash, algae, even an IRS audit for undeclared shoreline leases. Leases? I hadn't rented a broom closet. A septic inspector showed up, then animal control. Someone nailed a dead fish to my dock. It wasn't funny anymore. It was war. While I was in Missoula for 2 days, meeting my lawyer and grabbing a generator part, they struck again. I came home to a backhoe on my lawn, a Serenity Shores magnet on its side. A trench scarred my yard, flags marking Lake Access Route A. 2 workers lounged by the lake. A third, clipboard in hand, approached. You the property manager? I didn't answer. This is a community trail build, he said, chipper. ADA-compliant path to the water. I stared at the torn earth, my retaining wall in ruins. You're out of your mind, I growled. This is my land. He claimed Elizabeth had owner approval. I called the sheriff, my lawyer, and told the crew to shut it down. They hesitated, scared of her. Not my butt left when I mentioned legal defense. That night, I didn't sleep. I drafted a lawsuit. Trespass, vandalism, fraud, conspiracy. Elizabeth hadn't just crossed a line, she'd obliterated it. I was done playing defense. The Flathead County Courthouse smelled of old carpet and broken dreams. My lawyer, Sarah Coleman, walked in like she owned the place. Elizabeth sat at the defense table, navy blazer, fake pearls, smug as ever. The gallery buzzed, neighbors, reporters, HOA board members squirming. A kid in the back whispered, "That's her. Phone out, already posting." The judge, a grizzled man named Hawkins, called order. Sarah didn't waste time. This isn't a property dispute, Your Honor. It's fraud, trespass, and sabotage. She played the footage, cameras catching the crew at my shed, Elizabeth scouting my land, emails plotting to reclaim the shore, a forged county letter with a fake signature. The county surveyor testified, "This land's never been HOA. Not in '79, not now." Then Frank took the stand, hands shaking. He admitted Elizabeth convinced him I'd block the lake, offered him a spot on a shoreline council for intel. I thought I was helping, he said, voice cracking. She used me. Sarah closed with a damage estimate, $82,400. Elizabeth's lawyer, a slick Missoula type, claimed she acted on historical usage. Sarah buried him with surveys. Elizabeth stood, unprompted. That land's for everyone. He's a greedy outsider hoarding our lake. The judge slammed his gavel. Sit down, Mrs. Monroe, or it's contempt. She didn't. Those recordings are fake. Hawkins wasn't having it. This court deals in facts. You trespassed, forged documents, incited crimes. Guilty on all counts. The sentence hit hard. 60 days in jail, 18 months probation, real estate license revoked, $82,000 fine, community service, and a public apology. The HOA faced a governance review. Board members bailed. The kid in the back yelled, "She's toast." The gallery erupted. I didn't cheer. I just exhaled. The check came 2 weeks later, $82 for 100. I fixed the lawn, the wall, the dock. Paid the contractor double to bury that trench. One morning, I stood on my dock, coffee steaming, lake still. No flags, no signs, just peace. The HOA apologized publicly. Board members fled. Frank stopped by, hat in hand. "I'm sorry," he said. I nodded. "Me too." We didn't shake, but it was enough. The internet went wild. Clips of Elizabeth's courtroom meltdown spawned lakeless memes. I started a blog, Private Property Matters, about HOA abuses. It struck a nerve. I didn't want fame, just quiet. But I'd fight for it. One September night, neighbors gathered by my fire pit. Frank sat quietly, sipping cider. Footsteps crunched. Elizabeth stood at the fire's edge, no blazer, just a hoodie. "I won't stay," she said. "I need to say something." The fire crackled. "My son drowned 11 years ago. Not here, But a lake like this. He was 13. I thought controlling this shore would keep others safe. Her voice broke. I saw you, Daniel, living so freely, and I hated it. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I nodded. You've got time to fix what's left. She left. We sat in silence, the lake reflecting the flames. I'd won, but it wasn't about victory. It was about home. Serenity Lake was mine again, not just the land, but the peace I'd fought for. What do you think? Have you faced injustice or bullying in your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments. Did I go too far, or was Elizabeth's punishment just? Let's hear your take on standing up to power and reclaiming what's yours.